Hello everybody, it's Fufu here, and I am back again for another Why You Should Use with my friend John. Sorry for the delay since the last episode, but we're very happy to be back and bringing you more of these with some really cool Pokemon. We're going to be doing Minior today, but after this video, there is a very special video on Jon's channel to check out, isn't there, John?
Yes, there is. We are going to be covering the pseudo-legendary Pokemon of the 7th generation in Como-O. Very awesome and powerful Pokemon, but before we can get to that, we gotta go over the very cool and unique Minior
Design.
Minior is an adorable, colourful, floaty rock thing, and it's literally a rock star. I love it. It has two really cool forms. It's got the shield form and then the fruity, colourful core form, which you can have all different colors. You can even choose your preference, which is great. There's choice involved. Choice is always great. I really like the design of this thing. I think it's really, really interesting.
It even has a dex entry that says, this Pokemon makes its home in the ozone layer. It hurtles to the ground when the shell enclosing its body grows too heavy. I have like two feelings with this. First, it's like kind of cute, and the shell gets too busy. The inside core form looks really nice, but then also terrifying because these giant meteor-like things hurtling to the ground. So when you're in Alola, make sure you're looking up at the sky because you might get hit by one of these.
Typing and stats.
Minior is rock flying. This isn't a new thing. We've seen it before with Archeops and Aerodactyl, and it's a decent typing. Defensively, flying removes rock's fighting weakness. Unfortunately, it does add a lot more weaknesses in electric and ice and things, which isn't ideal. However, offensively, it's a pretty good typing. You can't really hit steals too hard unless you have coverage moves, but the two stabs are actually pretty good offensive moves.
Going over Minior's stats, it's very similar to Aegislash in the fact that it has a defensive form and a more offensive form. It starts in the defensive form where it has 60s all around beyond those defenses, where there's going to be 100 in defense, 100 in special defense. And when we talk about the ability, there will be something, Sam can get to that part, but when it gets to the offensive form, it keeps the 60 in HP and then gets a 60 in defense and special defense while gaining the 100 in attack and special attack with a 120 speed now. That one kind of came out of nowhere and I didn't expect that, but it's really, really cool. It starts off bulky and slow and then all of a sudden it turns into an offensive, I wouldn't say powerhouse, but a pretty decent offensive Pokemon, and that's fantastic too because it has the low speed when you're going to get hit, and then if they do bring you below where you can turn into the offensive form, you're going to be able to outspeed and hopefully just wreak havoc.
Ability.
Minior has the Shields Down ability. This is the ability that allows it to switch between its two forms. In the shield form initially, it's prevented from getting any statuses, which is really nice, and also it allows the form to change when it's under half health into the more offensive form, the core form. Now this core form is, as John said, very fast and much more powerful, and it's a really nice way around of doing it because in the defensive form you should be able to take a hit or two, you can do what you want to do and then get into the offensive form to deal a lot of damage. If it was the other way around, you'd just die if you took any hits because you've got very low defenses, so it's good to have the defenses initially and then go into your offensive form.
Moves.
Minior has one move that makes this Pokemon incredibly deadly, and that is Shell Smash. If you don't know what that does, it is going to lower Minior's defenses, but it's also going to raise its attack, special attack, and speed by 2. So you can use this move while you're in the bulkier form, and they get you below half. You all of a sudden have 100 base attack and special attack, along with 120 speed, all +2, and you are ready to absolutely sweep teams. It also has acrobatics, which will be stab. You can use white herb on that so that acrobatics will be more powerful and your defenses don't get lowered. And it's just, it's crazy. That combination is just disgusting in such a good way. It also gets Stone Edge and EQ, so you get the stab and then you have the coverage, which is nice. Explosion is another move you can throw on there. I guess if you want to do more of like a suicide lead, you can do that, or if you're just going to use it for shits and giggles, why not? Stealth Rock, another really good move, especially if you're going to focus more on the bulkier form and then being able to get fast Stealth Rocks up later maybe. And those are the main moves. It does get some pretty decent but not amazing coverage, and you can go like special with Power Gem. It's got Psychic and Dazzling Gleam. And the final thing that I definitely love but might not be the best, but it is cool, it does get U-turns. So if you want to come up with a funky set, definitely try that move out.
Set idea.
So for our Minior set, we are going to use that Shell Smash set. It is so deadly, and I love it that this cute little floaty rock thing is actually a huge threat and that people really need to fear. So as we alluded to before, it's going to have the white herb item that just is used up and stops any negative stat drops that you might have. We're going to use that with Shell Smash so that when you smash your shell, your stats go down, and then you recover them with the white herb, you lose your item, and we've got acrobatics on this set too to hit really hard once that item has gone. So obviously we're going for a physical set here. We want to be adamant, which boosts our attack even more, max attack, max speed. The coverage options we've gone for are Stone Edge, another stab move, and then Earthquake. Edgequake is a very, very conventional coverage option. It's really, really good. You can play around with the EVs on this set because this set, it hits the hardest because you've got max attack adamant, but you can play around and actually make it a bit faster so that at +2 speed, you can outspeed things like Pheromosa. So even when you're in the meteorite slower form, so that they can't just come in and revenge you before you can get into that faster form. So you can make yourself a bit faster to do that. Or you can even just make yourself a bit bulkier and not invest as much in speed, because when you do get into that faster form, the +2 speed means that you're going to be way, way too fast. So you could actually just make it a bit bulkier to ensure that you do get into the other form, and the +2 speed will be fine anyway. So you can really play around with the EVs on this set. I don't think that you can play around as much with the coverage, but it's a huge threat. With the right team support, this just tears through teams.
Another set idea that you could use is a Focus Sash lead Minior, using a lot of the other cool moves that it has at its disposal. Stealth Rock is going to be the big thing. You're going to have a lot of bulk, so you can take a hit, get rocks up, or, I mean, I don't really know what else you want to do. If you just want to go an attacking move, you can get Stealth Rocks up later if it gets you down to the fast form. The nice thing with this is with the 120 speed, nothing's going to be preventing you from getting rocks up, which is great. Obviously, Focus Sash on this guy, as it is going to be a Sash lead, is going to make sure that no matter what happens, you can get your hazards up. Max speed, max attack. I mean, you might as well have the max attack. You're not going to be living too long, as you are a Pokemon that does have Explosion, which is pretty cool. But all that really matters is getting the rocks up. You can Stone Edge some things if you want, if you get into the more offensive form, Explosion, which will just go boom, and that's more fun. It can actually get maybe a surprise KO because 100 attack will not be something to laugh at. And U-turn, if you want this thing to survive a little bit longer, gain some initiative for your team after you do get the rocks up. You will have a Pokemon with 120 speed that you weren't really counting on to do too much, and maybe it can pick some things off later in the game with Stone Edge.
So there you have it. That is how we think it is best to use this funny little rock Pokemon, the meteorite shooting through the sky. I really like it, and I hope you guys are willing to try it out now after this video. Please go and check out the video on Jon's channel now, which is all about Komodo, the pseudo-legendary of these games. All that's left to be said is I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.